On the news tonight, APC campaign spokesperson Festus Keyamo alleges plan by Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi to stage manage fake assassination attempt. Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo condemns attack on Uba's convoy, vows to wipe out criminality. And National Industrial Court adjourns federal government suit against ASU to September the 16th. Many thanks for joining us on News Now. I am Folashade Ogurinde. The Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Festus Keyamo, has alleged that the presidential candidate of Labour Party, Peter Obi, was planning to fake an assassination attempt on himself and hire some supporters dressed in the APC caps and T-shirts to attack some of his party officers. Keyamo, the spokesperson of the All Progressives Congress Presidential Campaign Council, made a remark in response to a video clip where Obi is seen reading a message asking Southwesterners not to vote for him. Keyamo further alleged that the presidential candidate of the Labour Party concocted a WhatsApp message to be seen as a victim of ethnic agenda. The allegation is coming hours after Labour Party held a two-day retreat for its national officers, trade unions and party candidates. Reacting to Keyamo's allegation, Obi's media aide Emeka Obasi described it as fallacious, adding that he was surprised such allegation was coming from a personality like Keyamo. Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo has condemned the attack on Senator Ifeanyi Uba's convoy in the state. The governor, in a statement signed by his press secretary Christian Arubimi, which was released on Monday, said the government was fully determined to wipe out every act of criminality in the state. The governor also commiserated with the families of the dead victims, while also assuring that all security agencies are now on full alert to fish out the perpetrators of the attack and be made to face the full wrath of the law. In the attack, police officers and some aides of the senator are feared to have been killed in the shootout with the armed militants. Well, to speak more on this development, security expert Patrick Agbambu joins me now. Thank you very much for joining us. Sadly, this is not the first time Anambra State will record such gruesome attack on politicians and notable persons in the state. What do you make of this development?
It's a sad development, and it's another attack too many for a state that is an industrial state, a state of peace, suddenly turning to a grave, a land that consumes people. It's sad, really. For some of us who are familiar with the situation in Anambra before this time, it's really cause for worries, and I believe that but the signs for this has been there for a very long time. Fortunately, things are not being done in the right way to checkmate it. It's sad.
Now, it's not too long ago, September 2021, I think roughly around this time last year, Akuli was killed. That's Chike Akuli, the husband of Akuli. Now, still now, we've not seen, the police have not actually come out to announce the perpetrators of this attack. What does this say about the state of insecurity in Nigeria, but most especially in the southeastern part of the country?
We need to situate it. We must admit that is a problem that has been there in the southeast. Unfortunately, the leaders of thought, political leaders, and the community leaders are afraid to speak out. There's no need to pass blames. We need to call a spade if we must get over this. Yeah, like you rightly said, it's sad that just almost a year now ago, we lost another illustrious son of the state, Dr. Chike Akunyili, and now another attempt on a serving senator. But before now, we've had a woman lost, killed along with her children. We've had a member of the parliament being killed. We had so many killings that I would say that it's not supposed to be. The reason for these killings is not far-fetched. We all know, even though a lot of people want to pretend about it and pass blames. But I believe that until we own up to what the situation is, then face it squarely, then we may be witnessing this situation over and over again.
Well, indeed, security experts Patrick Agbambu, thank you very much for your time and your contribution. The National Industrial Court has adjourned the case between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU to September the 16th. Justice Polycarp Haman adjourned the matter to enable both parties to file the necessary papers for the suit. Speaking to journalists outside the court, counsel to ASU Femi Falano said the federal government should stop trying to blackmail ASU, maintaining that university lecturers have not stopped working. On its part, the counsel to the federal government, Tijani Ghazali, said ASU cannot dictate to the federal government what platform its members are to be paid. ASU embarked on strike since February this year, leading to the closure of public universities for 8 months now. The Nigerian Senate has tasked the judiciary to hastily prosecute cases of oil theft and other related crimes in order to curb the revenue loss emanating from the sector. President of the Senate, Hamid Lawan, made the appeal when the leadership of the Senate met with heads of the security agencies on Monday. Lawan further said it is not enough to just confiscate the looted goods, but ensure that they are publicly brought to book.
I will appeal to our courts, the judiciary, once we have cases like this, we must give expeditious consideration, because these are the issues that today are militating against our stability and even against our democracy. We lose so much of our oil. As at the last count, the report was we export just little above 900,000 barrels. And that is just about 50%, because it's supposed to be 1.8 million barrels per day. And that is having our revenues and our resources for development. So I want to appeal to the judiciary to give a special consideration once an oil thief is taken to court. But we must prosecute them.
In the last 8 months, between 1st of January to 28th August 2022, Nigeria has recorded 277 confirmed cases of monkeypox virus. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, made this known on Sunday in an update on its official website. The NCDC added that these cases were flagged across 21 states of the Federation. More details in this report. With the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, recording 100 new suspected cases of monkeypox virus, the disease appears to be fast spreading in Nigeria, but majorly in the United States of America, which has a total of 21,893 cases. While the rate of infections have not drawn much public attention in Nigeria, as seen with COVID-19 virus, its seriousness has not gone unnoticed by the World Health Organization (WHO), which has called for global vigilance to prevent an epidemic.
A downward trend can be the most dangerous time if it opens the door to complacency. WHO continues to recommend that all countries persist with a tailored combination of public health measures, testing, research, and target vaccination where vaccines are available.
In Africa, Nigeria appears to be leading in both number of infections and deaths. Giving an update on the monkeypox virus in Africa, the WHO Regional Director for Africa, Matshidiso Moeti, revealed that while there are 524 confirmed cases of the virus, 12 deaths across 11 African countries have also been recorded. Sadly, half of these deaths occurred in Nigeria.
For monkeypox, there have now been 581 confirmed cases and 12 deaths across 11 African countries. The majority of cases are in Nigeria, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and in Ghana. And of the 12 deaths, 6 occurred in Nigeria, 4 in Ghana, and 2 in the Central African Republic. Although not a single monkeypox vaccine has been administered in Africa, WHO's provision of 39,000 test kits to countries has resulted in improved testing rates. These are small steps forward, but we are seeing improvements in surveillance and risk perception. WHO's guidance on infection prevention, control, and treatment of monkeypox has also been adopted to train healthcare workers in all the affected countries. Fundamentally, however, Africa is still not benefiting from either monkeypox vaccines nor the antiretroviral treatment tecovirimat, the only doses of which have been administered in a small study in the Central African Republic on the continent.
But experts say there is no cause for alarm. They however urge the government to take advantage of the emergence of both COVID-19 and monkeypox virus to upgrade the nation's healthcare sector.
Improve the structure of detection, investigations. We should make PCR available for case confirmation all across the country at different levels with federal, state, and local government, even to the ward level. And we should train the personnel who should go to these communities to dictate cases so that we should be on high alert to make sure that we can nip things in the bud at the very beginning of any disease, including monkeypox and all the other ones.
Monkeypox, an infection caused by a virus similar to the now eradicated smallpox virus, has been the most common in some African countries, but outbreaks have occurred in other areas from time to time. According to the World Health Organization, this is the first time that many monkeypox cases and clusters have been reported concurrently in non-endemic and endemic countries in widely contrasting geographical areas. Folashade Ogrinde, TV360 News. It was a triple delight on Friday when the Chinese community in Lagos gathered to celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival in commemoration of the end of the autumn harvest. The China-Nigeria National Day was also included as part of celebrations. The event, which was sponsored by the Washin Arts Troupe Nigeria, featured colorful performances and a display of both Chinese and Nigerian cultures. Our correspondent, Simisala Digun, tells us more in this report.
The Mid-Autumn Festival, also called the Mooncake Festival, is the second most important festival in China after the Chinese New Year. It is celebrated to mark the end of the autumn harvest in China. But here in Nigeria, Chinese nationals are gathered in this hall to celebrate this year's festival. Guests were entertained with Chinese and Nigerian traditional dance, as well as musical renditions from Chinese singers. There was also a Chinese kung fu display and drums performance. In their remarks, the Chinese ambassador to Nigeria and the Consulate General of the People's Republic of China urged the Nigerian and Chinese communities to be committed in promoting friendly relationships between the two countries.
I want to let you know I'm working hard and try to build strong, profound, healthy relationships between the two great countries. Last year, I proposed my 5G Nigeria-China GDP strategy. So this strategy is approved, supported by the two governments. And also we are advocating, I just mentioned the symphony and harmony, the harmony in coexistence, harmony in integration, harmony in diversity, and harmony in development. We celebrate together. We are great people. The Chinese people are a great people. The Nigerian people are a great people. There's no reason that we do not do things together. We must achieve greater achievements.
As an emerging tech giant, China has demonstrated it can be a leading innovator both globally and domestically. Nigerian dignitaries called for more collaboration and assistance from the Chinese community in the area of technology, infrastructural development, and health.
The relationship has experienced tremendous growth and expansion. More areas could still be explored. Nigeria, the largest economy in Africa, imports products from China more than any other country in the world. Increasing collaboration with China is therefore imperative.
Ibrahim Musa.
Highlights of the event were the award of 100,000 Naira scholarship to 63 Nigerian students in appreciation of their outstanding performance in the study of Nigerian and Chinese cultures. The chairman, Chinese Industrial and Commercial Enterprises Association, Dr. Eric Ni, said the scholarship will further aid their studies.
Nigeria and China celebrated the National Day on the same day. So we also Chinese community in Nigeria. Nigeria also like our own second home. So we are Chinese community must more support Nigeria community. So even last year we also supported 80 students just for the scholarship.
I'd like to particularly today to thank the Chinese community in Nigeria. They've been doing very well. His Excellency the Ambassador of China is a great man. Since his arrival to Nigeria, he has been empowering Nigerians, encouraging Nigerians, particularly youth.
China and Nigeria have for decades enjoyed a good bilateral relationship, which has led to a number of agreements on trade, economic and technical cooperation, as well as scientific and technological cooperation. Simisola Digon, TV360, Lagos.
We'll take a break here, but still to come. Russia insists on war with Ukraine until country's goals are achieved. Details of this story and more right after this break. Welcome back. Now here is a recap of some of our top stories tonight. The Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Festus Keyamo, has alleged that the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, was planning to fake an assassination attempt on himself and hire some supporters dressed in the APC caps and T-shirts to attack some of his party officers. Keyamo, the spokesperson of the All Progressives Congress APC Presidential Campaign Council, further alleged that the presidential candidate of the Labour Party concocted a WhatsApp message to be seen as a victim of ethnic agenda. Peter Obi's media aide, Emeka Obasi, has however described the allegations as fallacious, adding that he was surprised such was coming from a personality like Keyamo. Well, in case you missed any of our news bulletin, or for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are TV360 Online. The World Health Organization has revealed it expects a rise in COVID-19 in Ukraine to peak in October, possibly bringing hospitals close to their capacity threshold. The Director General of the WHO, Tedros Ghebreyesus, said on Monday the war could also increase polio spread. Russia's February invasion of Ukraine has greatly impacted healthcare, wherein the country has so far recorded low vaccination coverage for both COVID and polio. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has declared it was time to safely turn the page on New Zealand's COVID-19 restrictions, scrapping all but a handful of remaining rules. New Zealand, which once eliminated the virus through the toughest pandemic rules in the world, has made relaxation similar to Australian or European conditions. Mask wearing will no longer be mandatory in public places, and the last vaccine mandate to be ditched in 2 weeks under sweeping changes announced by the Prime Minister on Monday. However, the government is sticking to by a 7-day isolation period for people with the virus, defying calls to shorten isolation to 5 days. Well, we'll take a break here, return with more stories. To stay with us.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. Simi Salah Adiguna joins us for more stories in business. Over to you, Simi.
Thank you, Folashade. Welcome to Business News. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, says it injected $7.6 billion into the economy in 5 months through foreign exchange sales to authorized dealers. The Apex Bank said this in its monthly economic report for May 2022. According to its report, the CBN said it intervened in the FX markets to stabilize the value of the naira with $1.65 billion and $1.39 billion in January and February, respectively. The Apex Bank added that it pumped $1.82 billion in March, $1.56 billion in April, and $1.18 billion in May 2022. The value of manufactured goods traded tumbled by 36% from 4.51 trillion naira in the second quarter of 2021 to 2.87 trillion naira in the corresponding period of 2022. This is according to the foreign trade report by the National Bureau of Statistics for the second quarter of the year and its corresponding quarter of 2021. The fall in the value of traded manufactured goods came as manufacturers continued to grapple with skyrocketing costs and a harsh operating environment. We'll go on a short break here and be back with stock market report. Nigeria's equities kicks off trading on a negative note on Monday amid trade in insurance, banking, and industrial stocks and mild bargains in consumer goods stocks. Monday's negative sentiment led to a loss of 0.14% at the close of trading, pushing previous return lower. Market cap also decreased to 26 trillion naira. The equities markets all-share index, I'll go back there, decreased as well to 49,625 basis points. Monday's trading sees Better Glass Company and Learn Africa merge top decliners, losing a total of 48 naira 15 kobo. Meanwhile, top advancers are Multiverse Mining and Exploration and FTN Cocoa Processors, earning a total of 2 naira 90 kobo. As select foreign stocks, the FTSE, the Dow Jones and Nikkei are all in the bulls, thanks to major activity in the services sector in the UK, reduced inflation in the US, and high sales in tourism-related stocks. Well, that's it on the stock market review. Falashade has the rest of the news.
Well, many thanks to Ms. Leff for that update. And on the foreign scene, in its first public response to the Ukrainian victories on the battlefield, Russia says it will succeed in its military objectives in the country. Dmitry Peskov, Kremlin spokesperson, said this to journalists on Monday while reaffirming confidence in the leadership of Vladimir Putin, Russia's president. According to him, there are currently no grounds for peace talks between both countries. The invasion of Ukraine started on February 24, 2022, when Russia launched a full-scale attack from multiple directions on the country after several weeks of building up troops on the country's border. Well, up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
Wizkid has once again made history after he became the first African artist to headline the famous Rolling Loud Music Festival in Toronto, Canada on Sunday, September 11. The night also saw a first ever performance from Wizkid's latest efforts on Chris Brown's Call Me Every Day, which had the audience singing aloud. The Starboy thrilled the crowd with a captivating selection of his classic records. Wizkid's latest feat of becoming the first African artist to headline the festival, which is one of the biggest music festivals in America, is believed will invariably open the doors for other superstars. Television's most prestigious awards, the Emmys, will be handed out in Los Angeles on Monday night. Hosted by Saturday Night Live's comedian Kenan Thompson, it will be the first full-scale Emmys since the pandemic. There has been a muted build-up to the event, with some pre-show festivities called off following the death of Queen Elizabeth II last week. The British Film and Television Academy cancelled its traditional Hollywood Tea Party for nominees, while the Canadian Consulate postponed its celebrations. The ceremony itself is expected to reflect on the Queen's death. And that's all we have on the entertainment segment of News Now.
Away from entertainment, now to sports. The English Football League, which manages the three divisions below the Premier League, says matches will return as scheduled from Tuesday. The league announced this after the last round of games were postponed following the death of Queen Elizabeth II. The top-flight Premier League and EFL announced last week that the games had been postponed after the Queen, Britain's longest reigning monarch, died peacefully at her home in Scotland on September 8th, aged 96. That's the size of our news bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Folashade Ogurinde. Bye for now.